The Unslug. The Eternal Blight. Bright, not blight. I think the number goes 220 volt. Called Walking in the Starlight. The performance was very powerful, very to the core. It sends vibrations to the sky and roars echoes throughout the night. The newest iPod Nano and the Bluetooth wireless connection of the earphone, you can hear a very subtle yet very vibrant Nordic metal, European metal, heard throughout within its music. Rhythm vibrating through its ears. A man slowly moves his body to the rhythm. That person is about 2 meters tall, very strong. He holds a guitar case on his shoulders, but that guitar case sure looks small on him. His back is very tall, very thick, and his bone and muscle structures were very grand, very sturdy, very built. There are many scars throughout this person, and below his eyelids, a dark streak of black uh, powdered upon. It's as if it was for combat makeup. And a bit of silver hair that was tied in very nicely looked good for his outfit. Currently in the Norway district of Oslo. 国会議員堂の近くのアークの書店. It's a small bookshop near the committee gatherings. It is even though it is inside the shop. Its average low temperature is about -5 degrees Celsius, of course. And even though it's a February, and even though it's a European district, the man shows his bare skin front out in the open and wears a very fancy yet clothesless clothes. And he has his chest bared wide open, boldly stating that his chest will not be cold by some mere burden. And it doesn't even look like he is cold. The piercing cold does not hurt him, nor does he mind it at all. In a very weird, in an ordinary bookshop, looking through the guides of basic tourism around the Nordic, right? Nordic, aka Europe. Looking through that map, standing up, reading, aka stand reading, along. He is moving with the music rhythm of the iPod Nano with the wireless headset in his ears. A little child would see this, would see this person. A little child would look up onto this person. 判定されている幼児の雑誌と通販雑誌を選び、次に料理雑誌を向かうことでどうするか迷っているスリの母親と手を握ったままポカンと口を開けて兄弟に同習する。Yep. While holding the hand of the little one's mom. While she's trying to look for whether it is for child education magazine or ordering Amazon, it's 通販 online shopping magazines and whatnot. Or next thing you know, picking up a cooking magazine book. She's deciding which ones to pick. The child would look up to the man, dumbfounded. mouth wide open, staring at him, looking at the gigantic figure that's in before for about 2 seconds, perhaps 3. But on the 4th second, from the 4th second, he would realize the horns and the metal figures that was around the man, and the horn-grown Iron Man would slightly look at the child, staring at a picture book, and then at the 5 seconds, the child would reply, "Are you a Viking, sir?" So you noticed. The old man would shrug, hit a smile, he would grin with a teeth, while he's showing his white teeth out loud. It was a very surprising impression for sure. Perhaps the mother has realized that the child has spoken to a very unknown person. The mother would look towards the child. All of a sudden, she too would be dumbfounded, surprised at the behold of the sight of this gigantic man. But gets back to her own reasoning and says, "My goodness, I do apologize for my little one's outrage. I do apologize for my little one's outrage or being rude." While for a mere moment being very apologetic and looking at his entire build once more, seeing that as his has his arm and his built would his arms and built would definitely is thick as her thick as her hips, right? His arms as thick as her lips, would ask the big tall man, "Are you perhaps a sports player or a metal band person?" she would say. The man would answer, "Ha ha ha, the boy already said it, didn't he?" 逆を振り返すフレリオと同じ色で見下ろして男は言う。with the sun in his background and his eyes just like the color of the Freljord, the man would reply to her, "Look down upon thee," and says, "I'm a Viking." That shit, I want to see that shit animated. Like right here, this whole scene. So essentially, to TLDR this whole scene, he's in the bookshop. He's in the bookshop reading the tour guide for he's reading the tour guide for Europe, right? Like how to traverse Europe, how to walk into Europe, with an iPod Nano and a wireless headset in his fucking ears, listening to Nordic metal. Okay? And he's wearing his regular clothes that you see him portrayed before you. A little kid fucking comes up and says, "Are you a Viking?" and looks down and shows a fucking big smile and says, "You noticed, huh?" And then mom's like, "I'm sorry for my child being rude." And she asked the question, like, "Are you a sports player? Are you a metal person?" And then he's like, "No, your boy told you, didn't he?" And fucking says it down with his, his really good looks. And he says, "I'm a fucking Viking." God, that's so good. All right, here comes the next chapter. I can't find my allies or same species anywhere. Just trying to look for Vikings, other Vikings. I'm not talking about the metal. I'm not talking about these battle costumes and tattoos ingrained. I'm not talking about the skin color or their race. I'm talking about the existence is the problem. I don't understand. Every single one of them that I've seen so far are ordinary humans. he would leave the bookshop. さほど音していない大通りを歩きながら男は内心を首を掲げる。He would walk a very large road with it's not very complex or not a bit shady. He would walk those big roads, roadway, and inside himself, he would think and question. Twist his head and not twist. What is that called? What am I just doing? It's pivoting, not pivoting. It's like he's thinking to himself, right? Right? Like he's thinking to himself like that on the inside while walking. Every humans, every people that he would come across walking through, for some odd reason, he does not feel the strength within them. Male, female, child, and young. Even the elder and the aged. Every single one of them does not have a willpower, does not have the power of hunt, does not have this essence of this being or something to capture or prey or bite down. He doesn't feel any of those. The battle combat, the killing intent, the strength to kind of murder others in order to achieve its goals. No matter what type of scenario, situation, environment that it is, in order for yourself to survive, that sort of preservation, that tremendous amount of willpower or determination, there's none of it anywhere to them. It's not that it doesn't exist completely, but it's very thin. It's very minuscule. Perhaps there might be perhaps there might be a tribe or people of that does not do violence or that does not wield weapon as its threatency. But he also noticed that every single one of them, their blood colors, their skin lines, looks very good. Even thinking about the child and the mother back then he just witnessed. Very foolish. Very open. And they would smile without hesitantly of a human being, of another person, without hesitation. So this is the current Oslo of the modern town or modern district. And if that is true, and if this place is of villagers and fishermen's are popping up fishermen towns all around with no conflicts in time, it's a very annoying. It's very annoying and very problematic. While he's walking, the man still thinks. During a crossroad, while he was crossing, he would witness he would witness a couple of guards, police officers. And by witnessing them, his thought process came to a conclusion. My God, their weapons are so small. I don't see any of them have any intent to using them or even to use it for killing whatsoever. What is the meaning of this? It says they all look beautiful. Yeah, they all look beautiful, and that's so foolish. And they too, even though they're supposed to be acting guards of these areas, they're wide open. And that proves their foolishness in their system. But, and if that is the case, if the same kin, right? If I like the dots here because it's the differentiation of it's same but different, right? If the same kin of aka Vikings / servant, right? Because you can clearly tell he's a servant. Well, you don't, but you know who he's fucking explaining. It says, if my kind or my comrade or my same kin or species were to arrive they will be in grave danger and will be very endangered. Meaning, I hate it. It just doesn't it doesn't vibe to me one bit. The man stops his feet. 4を話した胸元にビリビリと感じるものがあった。あ、同族だ。It says the man would stop his feet. All of a sudden, he would feel something in his chest. A very sensational feeling that electrifies and kind of feels in the skin. He felt something, and he noticed. It's the same of kin, same species, same kind. Well, to clarify it as same kin or, Viking would be a little bit different, but very similar, very familiar feeling. The man felt definitely a magical energy within it. And he said to himself, I guess I have whenever it comes to my guts and feelings, I'm pretty good one. While he's saying that out loud, the man would pivot and change directions. Without hesitation, easily, he would relocate himself in the Ocelot town, the town of Ocelot, and in one breath away, arrive at a road and a place. Arrive at a road. Arrive at a location where there's nobody around, no humans in sight. "街中のローソから打って変わった道のせいでイヤホンから届く演奏が人脇多く響いている。And then because of the sudden change, because of the sudden change of the rowdiness and crowdiness on the town side to a very standstill road, a quiet location, in an instant. All of a sudden, you would start to hear the echo of the phone. You could actually hear the echo of the music that's bleeding through the earphone. While feeling so, the man, 口角がつり上がりそうになるのをこらえ。It says, while he was about to do something, right? While the man would witness and was about to enjoy his delectable prey, he tried to do something, but he would held on to that. Urge. After all, in front of the prey, those who would lick their lips would be a second-rate. Fool. I wonder who said that to me directly. While turning off his iPod Nano, he removes his earphone. And the next he would turn around. At the same time, he would witness something so barrenly. 道地の向こうで日本作のセダン. It says, on the other side of the road that he would witness, you would see a Japanese-made style car of sedan. Right when it passes by, it would show its arrival. It was a very peculiar existence, for sure. It was a human, it was like a humanoid mystery. A humanoid mystery, shrouded in shadows. A very, very long hair was almost able to touch the ground. It is shouting at the metal-haired man. 分厚い量をすら越す身の3メートルにも3メートルにも立ちそうとかいう怪物が。So it says, so it says, the metal-haired man was very thick and very tall, but this one was 3 meters tall in size. Almost 3 meter size and tall. This humanoid monster would all of a sudden blast a wind of air. 暴風の一種の結界として自ら張っているのかもようだ。本気の圧力が男に向かって吹きつけてくる。だが、 足元を震がせる程度はなく。So yeah, a gust of wind, a very strong, high-pressured wind, practically more of a part of a barrier type, shrouding it itself of sort. The tremendous pressure would be pointed at the male, the gigantic male, and it starts blasting through. The man took it. The man took it face forward, but he never moved his feet, nor did he even stutter or felt anything by it. The man the man didn't care about it and stately says, how refreshing. The unknown existence would shout at the opponent. つい昨前召喚されたばかりのスラーブの怪物なのだが、男にはわからない。It says it's been apparently it's been summoned. A monster of Slav, Slav, yeah. It's a Slavonic monster that has been recently summoned. But the man doesn't know that. But he understands the true nature of its existence. He knows that it's an enemy. He knows and already used the bloodlust and the killing intent that it had brimming over and wanted to do. The man calms down, prepares for a battle. He would drop down his guitar case and grabs the 肩遂げたギターケースからすらりと獲物を抜き放つ。He would drop his guitar case a little bit and easily brings out the prey that would be needed for the job. It's no gun. It's no sword. It is a thick metal, a very sharpened axe of battle caliber would come out in the Nordic side of the winter. Oki o hiki. And it says, with the winter. With the Nordic winter in case. 彼の手首の返し一ぐりで向き変えて拳突きつける。その動向を意味するは実に単民だった。So it says, while holding it still, the man would twist his arm. The man would twist his arm ready for combat. And then 彼の手首を返し一つでぐるりと向きを変え、影の怪物に突きつける。It says, the man would rotate his hand, allowing the axe to move. And with that, he would change directions. And he would throw it at the shadowy monster figure. That movement was simple, easy, and genuine. Meaning that now you're going to before replying as so, a screech would make noise and the monster started moving. It would not crawl on the ground, but it would crawl the walls little by little. Showing the motion of it is ignoring gravity itself. The speed is about 500 kilometers. 時速は500 kilometers, excuse me. 500 kilometers would surpass it. It is a very fast, 凄まじいあれと一緒したまで現体を走り抜ける。直線ではなく、アットランダムな奇襲、高度に演出した殺人鬼ショーのそれだ。So it goes, the thing answers, it's not floating, it's just running on walls, moving fast as almost 500 kilometers. It is a very fast speed. And it would run through the location, jumping, hopping. It is not coming in straight forward. At random patterns, locations, and rhythm sets. While doing that, it would be described as a killing machine trying to achieve its prey. Very sharp claws. 耳鳴り音を立てて顔面をusing its claws to scrape the wall fronts and constantly chase and pursue. Constantly chase and battle. 視界情報として終えるとできないほどの 超高速の爪は肉も骨も運指を引き裂くのだろう。It says it's very difficult to perceive, but pretty sure those fast claws would shred flesh and bones if it were to contact. 人を守るまとった強風は the great shroud of strong wind the great wind that surrouses this monster would be its protective shield. And so therefore there's no way a weapon, or there's no way to assault it without hurting it at first. If was an ordinary human, that is. There was no way. Okay, that makes more sense. I was reading that wrong. Let me get my mic here. Yeah, what's protecting this monster was a very strong shroud, or AKA a strong barrier of gust of wind, right? Very powerful wind, as its armor surrounding it. It was its shield, and there was no way. There was no way for it to put its hand through its on its throat. There was no way to pierce this wind and put its hands on its throat, if that was a human. But all of a sudden, it was grabbed. Even though it was super fast. It was super fast, super speed, with very sharp claws, prepared. But that monster... but the monster's arm and its, very strong defensive shielding was pierced. 卍から思わせる勢いで男の左腕が掴んだ. It says, to show its tremendous amount of strength, showing its intimidation and its prowess, the man's left hand would grasp that monster tightly. If the monster could speak, it probably would says, what? Or, oh, and have a questionable thing said it out loud. But, of course, it would, but as so, it would bend its neck all the way and think. 深く首を掲げてきしむ. So it says, it would bend its neck and ponder. 木? の頭部にすっと影がさす. Then all of a sudden, the monster's frontal lobe side is blinded by shadows. とうとうと振り上げられた斧が投げかかる空海の黒の影だった. It was a very fast swinging axe that was coming through. It was a pitch black color of a shadow that was incoming. 時に表の社会に知らされる魔法師たちの結界の人識では英知を超えた存在としての古希神秘はそれを上回る神秘によってのみ打ち砕かれるのだという。So it says, it's a bright, very thick, dark layer of shadow that was incoming. It says, at times, and the mage's basic fundamental knowledge that's been known all around. It's almost as a basic knowledge fundamental all around. In order to destroy an existence that surpasses the human knowing, a very old mystics. Only those that goes beyond that mystics, or those who can, for those who are more powerful than them, can only be shattered or be interfered with. 見るだけに怪人は未納の存在ではなく、おそらく古希未知に記するものだろう。ならば、男の、So it says, from the looks of it, the monster was no ordinary existence. Perhaps maybe a creature of a mystic kind in an ancient age, a species that was back then or so. Then if that is the case, the metal steel, the metal axe, a very heavy thing, a sharpened one, should not work on a monster like that, is it not? Give me a second. 語るより測るより交換するのを見るのが早い。さあ諸君どもとことん同時よう。 それに締められるおのそ盛り上がるような後ろに当分浮き上がるのは周囲二の結集。怪人はまるで避けようともしない。分厚き原子を分厚き鉄鋼を何する妄想の。宇宙の細かい影で合成されていて見ている。見たるざるが愚かな人間への無効力の様子や性に欺くし、その集団、オーデン。大きく開けられ開け避けられた男の口から信用には吹きの神の命じにしてシャンキの神、そして振り切れられる振り下ろされる鉄の斧、切断両断豪華一形完全。 Oh damn. So yeah, let's go. So essentially, it's saying that Kaijin Toji Janaika Kataru Yoryushin. So if that is the case, this this man, right? This man in the steel clump that is very heavy and that is about to sharpen the axe, befall about the monster. Will it not work? Well, instead of telling, instead of showing, I believe it is best for you to. I believe it's best for you to witness it very front and center. Now, ladies and gentlemen, now, ladies and gentlemen, witness and see the very tight gripped axe handle. 盛り上がる上での二頭上浮き上がるみたいに鎧太い血管細病人はまるで避けようともしない。Yeah, so what you see is a monster being held in place, an axe that's about to fall upon thee to be splitted into two. What you witness is a scene. But the monster doesn't even try to dodge it. It thinks to itself a very heavy metallic object. What will it do to it? 無数の細い影で構築された it says, yeah, multiple layers of very thin, many layers of thin shadow is enveloping it as its defense. It would smile, it would smile upon the foolish humans that would know it's useless or strengthless, excited, but beforehand, it would hear, Odin. The man would open his mouth, yell out loud, and scream out such an ancient god's name. An echo blew out the shout of roar that vibrates the atmosphere, and then comes down the metal axe, split it into two, cut down, completely eradicated. Woo! Sheesh. Completely eradicated. Oh shit, I've lost my location. Completely eradicated, split it into two. A Madden Warrior. Madden Warrior would bet his life on this swing of a the metal clump and the shadow. It says, no mere shadow monster would be able to perceive or even try to harm this Madden Warrior. I do like it says a Madden warrior, aka Beruseruku. Yeah, so Takabaru Shinushu Dori Nashi. Ha! Yeah, the man exhales and the axe was split. The axe was drawn down, splitting the enemy into two. Splitting the enemy into two, starting from the very frontal lobe side, and shatters and splits it wide open. 単なる使命の帯びて処理に痛がれてはのぐ今すっかり二つとなった怪物はあまりに運がない。Says it is a bad luck for it is bad luck for the monster that has been split into two, now only sees and cannot achieve its goal. In modern day Nordic European era, there is no divinity that resides. Yeah, 神秘を宿す者に敵や者などはおらず、特に魔術を演唱するすばりも見せぬなろうが、何時かかり潰されて、主に引きずり出して、してやれば良いだけとでも走っていたか。So yeah, it properly thought to himself that it should have, with the modern era of North European, there was no divinity in sight, and those who would have divine, right, divinity in itself would be no match for it. Especially if that was a caster or tried to incantate any spell magics. It thought it was an easy prey to bash it very easily and scattered his brains across the road. Maybe perhaps it's thinking it's regretting its decisions while it's being disintegrated or, disappearing or split it into two, dying. But while the axe was landing and sliced it through, and with the voice heard, the monster would witness this. Now, for real, truth be told, everything as seen to be true. This man was the real deal. A Viking, a Beruseruku, a Madden warrior that is in the past, arrived in the present. あとは15センチのアスファルトをたちまちし下ろすのし。Okay. The axe that went through the monster, its speed and its destructive force, did not settle down, and it embedded to the ground after the contact, finishing of splitting it wide open. With the name of the ancient god being told, it would embell its strength. It was not magic, but pure strength and ferocity. That itself, that act of violence, that act of violence self deepened the crevice of thick 15 inches of asphalt, right? 15 inches of asphalt was been decimated in a single swing. And it would permanently leave a scar and a mark in the Oslo Road. Oslo Road for the deeply down to Oslo Road and leaving it a scar. The caster or the mage who sent the monster towards this man has to reevaluate the value of this male. As such, The man would wipe blood with blood. And treats the battle as treats battle of death and descendants to heaven, descendants to the welcome of heaven itself. It is it is a materialization of a person of that time of divinity in within. While the civilization moved forward, and lights were very easily obtainable. From the shadows, little by little, these existence of strength. Yes. 影から吹く世界から追いやられつつも消えざる力. It says, yeah. Well, the civilization grows, and while civilization thrived, little by little, being pushed away from the world itself into its shadows. Its strength never disappeared, no matter if the word wanted to go away. Any difficulties, any hardship, it would overcome it with a single axe. A maddened monster, but a brave warrior at that. It would cross many seas and take many lands, a warrior. He was, of course, the greatest creature living in the European Nordic side. Even the bears would be afraid. And even the bears would be easily defeated and be treated as pets. One of the greatest and strongest warrior. His name is Ragnar Rosbook, or Ragnar Lodbrok. Rodbrok, or it says Ragnar Rosbrok, because they can't say brook, so they say Rok, but it's brook. 伝説に語られるUshi, he was the legendary warrior, even a Viking king, at least one of them. That's to be named. 思ったよりですねもんだな。雑に血を振りした運転をギターケースに戻してジッパーを上げてフィーする。まずは勝利の一服だ。ラグナロックの合衆は足をパーチを上げてラッキーストライクを監視に取り出す。一本加えてジッポーライターの火を消す。大きく吸って放尿をし手目を吐く。なおノルウェーで野外で屈勤するは宝具であり、この場はナグロルが認められている予想は特にない。両断されて人影の死体は徐々に影に解かれてくる。ギターケースさえごまかしきればすべて問題なし。何かあった化け物をぶち殺したよくわからんが森の怪物に似てたな。That's awesome. So, essentially, to TLDR this entire part, right? It's a monster, right? He met a monster. He noticed and detected a mage, right? Mage or something that had a magical energy while he was walking down the road. Kind of talks about the cops and says how they're weak. Their weapons are weak. It would be problematic if the same kind or same kin were to arrive. Mages, warriors, Vikings, etc. That's why it has the dots to be many. And then he would detect a monster / mage. All of a sudden, he would instantly go from a town place into a very quiet road area where there was nobody around. While at that, instantly you would hear his metal music. And so what he did is he turned off his iPod Nano and took off his wireless headset. When the Sudan went by, he saw a very peculiar existence. A creature that was enwrapped in shadows, looked humanoid. Had a very long hair and almost touched the ground. The hair almost had touched the ground. And apparently, it shouted out a very strong gust of wind. He said that's very breezy, right? Refreshing. What he had is he fucking slowly he didn't slowly unzip it, but at the same time he made sure that the bag didn't break, right? And so he would open up his guitar case and busted out a fucking Nordic axe, like a battle axe, or whatever he fucking had, right? It says very hard steel, very sharpened blade that was an axe. I don't know if he has an axe, but it is a very sharpened blade that acted as an axe. So yeah, he does it. He does right there. So that's his axe that he had there. It's kind of fucking metal. Holy shit. Fucking barely went 2 pages, PogChamp. And then he had this whole combat. The creature was fast as lightning. It was moving wall to wall, down on the ground. It was doing some weird fucking, the classic mob formation of super speed, showing it off. It had a wind protection, apparently, a very strong wind protection that was surrounding itself as defense. So it got cocky. So it tried to slit his throat, but all of a sudden, like, he fucking just stopped it, right? His left hand fucking stopped its movement, right dead in center. The fucking creature tilted its head and was like, huh? Right? And then the fucking axe just, boom! Split that bitch wide open. But before he split him wide open, the monster was kind of like giggling and big smiles because he thought that a no ordinary man can kill me kind of bullshit. And before he said that, before he swing down the axe, he would fucking roar out Odin and just slash him down into fucking 2 pieces. And then before it died, it realized that fucking monster is a goddamn Viking. And, and his name is Ragnar Rosebook. It didn't know, but we now know, right, who he is. And after he slammed down his axe, right? After he fucking slammed down his axe, the axe contacted the fucking ground and engraved a 15-inch of asphalt damage. And that bitch is growing red. Meaning that after the fucking hush-ya, that bitch was bright red in the contact and permanently damaged that road. It went through 15 inches thick of asphalt in an instant. Whoever summoned that monster must reevaluate this male's value, right? And then it kind of talks about who the Viking was. They would wash themselves. They would wash themselves. They would wash their blood with blood. That the fact that the battle would lead them to the heavens after death. It is a materialization of its being. While the civilization grew, little by little, they were being pushed to the shadows, yet the strength of them never dissipated. Many difficulties will be solved throughout an axe. One axe swings after another. A fucking crazy insanity, yet a warrior that is so proud. Heroes and warriors that would cross around seas and lands and not oppress, but just invade and take. His name is Ragnaros. He's one of the Viking. He's one of the few Viking kings. All right, this part I really do like the most. So it says, it was very frail than I thought. While cleaning the blood, right? While swiping the blood, like he got his axe, right, and he just, you know how fucking swordsman does the fucking clean the blade with just, psh, psh, and then just fucking cleans the blade like that. He did it with his axe. While swinging it to clean the blood, off of his axe, he would neatly put it back into the guitar case and close the zipper and carry it back on. After a good victory, a good smoke session is in order. Ragnar would take out in his pocket, bust out in the top pouch of his pocket. He would search for a lucky strike. And I like how it says lucky strike, but in kanji it's an American-made cigarette. He would bust out the pack of Lucky Strike, and then first grab one and use a Zippo lighter and light it on fire. He would inhale, and then exhale to bring out the entire smoke pop down. And then I also, additionally, it says in Norway, there is a law. Apparently there's a law in smoking outside. However, the location where Ragnar is at, nobody's looking or nobody would care. The corpse of the split into two, right? The corpse that got split into two, that monster, right? Humanoid looking monster, would is about to dissolve into the shadow. It's about to disappear. It's about to die. If he can make an excuse for the guitar case, everything looks perfectly normal. So this one's a new character. I don't know who this is. It says what happened, and this is Ragnar. Says nothing. Just had to kill a monster. Not sure, but it looked like a creature from the forest. Yeah, so it says, 声なき声に独り言で返す. So he would talk to himself to a voice that is not heard from the outside menu because it's connected, right? It's an internal connection between the master and the conversation there, and so he would say it out loud. That would listen to that would be feedback to the master. It says it is a combination, a telepathy from the owner or the parent, aka Master. It is very refined and vibrant. 目のある声は耳に心地よい. It says, yeah, flowering voice that is very good to the ears. Essentially, it's a female master. It must be the familiar of the caster. Did you kill it? Yes. And then I want you to go to the rendezvous location and give me a report, okay? Right. It says oh, oh. That's what he says. That's Ragnar saying, all right, all right. In more of like, oh, oh. Yeah. 細かい親でなくては実に良かった。いや、疲労かつで理解が早くて助かる。それで、あの子は見つかった。まだこの辺りにいると思う。いや、まだなんだが、いや、見つけたかもしれん。行ってみるぜ、親。マスター、マスター、ラグナー顔を向ける。調子上々に感じるな。足換えに間違いなく同類がいる。筋、アスファルトに吸い込んでやがる。地面をし、軽く締めながら高くジャンプして、ラグナロクをその空を調輪する。たちまち、5回ビルの岩頂の立って一旦着地して、また高いと飛んで、今度は土にする。フリオードの水面を望むコーシナの費用である。ラグナロクを知らないが、城の名はアーケーシュフ城。13世紀に建てられたノルウェーの第二教の校の一つである。Damn! 先代の大作 3D ファンタジーアニメのムービーで台本になった城のモデルであり、現在はとても多く観光者が連れるスポットとなっている。やつにこの場所がたどり着くものはじゃない。目立ちたくない。目立ちかねない。神秘の覚悟を統一する親ともともとマスターに叱られるのはいかにも面倒だ。もっとも彼女はそんなものに一切気にすまない。どうでもいいと判断するわけではなく、単純に意識をしない。そういう女だ。面白い振る舞いが自然にできる超人を歌詞とした美しさの結晶の声だ。今この瞬間も彼女はラグナラックの視点の先で魔眼の槍を構えて不死の城を吸い込んでいる。印象は青と黒。何よりも銀色。What? Interesting. If I'm correct, it seems that Aslaug does not know Ragnar. Huh. Alright, sorry. So yeah. Essentially, it says what happened. Master's talking to the servant. It says, "Have you seen the archer?" AKA, "Have you seen her?" She should be in what? Bioruviga. Bioruviga. Ni iru to omou yo. A specific place around here. It says. Ragnar would face forward into the castle's direction. He feels it. There, he knows for sure that there's a comrade. Yeah, there's a comrade or a samekin nearby. When they notice, he would put pressure into the asphalt and jump high. While gently stepping onto the walls. Yeah, while he's stepping through the walls, he would climb up high in the buildings and arrive to the sky of Oslo. He would arrive to the side of Oslo. He would constantly jump at the 5-story buildings on top of its rooftop, landing, jumping, like they're parkouring. He would jump high again and land, jump high again and land. It's almost as if he is oh, is that the fuck? It's the castle. It's the surrounded by water. It's this castle. Is it Copenhagen? No, it's Castro Home. Yeah, Akeshufu Home, I think. I think it's this that they were talking about. Akeshu Fusushiro. There's no Japanese that. Anyway, he's jumping on the rooftops here and there, jumpy, and then there's a castle in the Freljord. I don't know if that's the right place. Just fucking don't quote me on it. Yeah, Ragnar doesn't know, but that castle's name is Akeshu Fus. Yeah, Akeshu Fus Castle. It was built in 13th century in the Norway. It's one of the big place of sort. Apparently, it's been used as a 3D fantasy anime movie location. The castle was the model for sure, and currently it's a very bright and amazing tourist spot. So, therefore, it's very difficult to arrive in that place willy nilly. He doesn't want to. He doesn't want to stand out. Hiding from the mystics and others aside, he doesn't want to get yelled at the master. It's gonna get very annoying. So even though I'm pretty sure the master is a girl, I believe he also is talking about his love or the master at the same time. Because I don't think she cares one bit. It's not like she decide that it's not the deal. She just simply just doesn't acknowledge it. That's kind of the girl she is. Pinnacle of beauty, supernatural in general. She can do many. She's an excellence in many things naturally and everything, even at this very moment. She, even though with the Ragnar's eyesight being pointed, the demonic eye, no, not demonic eye, Magino, demon-haired It would hold a demon-haired spear, a demonic silver spear. Excuse me. Waiting of sort with a demonic demon spear in its hand. Its impression was very blue and black, and above all else, silver. That's her. Blue and black, also silver, right? All right. It says it's more. It's very rich. No matter what kind of jewels that you see, even the seas or even the skies, it's very deeply embedded in its beauty. 星なき夜の空を飼うかのような神秘の黒窓と。It's almost as it's wearing the veils of the night, surrounding in its body. The divine mystics of the black clothing, with the headgear, ささやかな曲線を描く、a headgear that defines her amazing shape. It defines her amazing shape as a headgear. 世界中の宝石を集めてなお届かぬよりよりよさで作られた銀色の紙。It says no matter how many treasure that you would accumulate in this world, it would never reach its beauty. It's a silver hair that was accumulated from the beauty itself. Oh, interesting. A very proud and very strong wolf. It would always lead its hand. There lied a single young girl. That was the pinnacle of beauty itself. And 余人が届かざる神秘の塊だった。It says that, no ordinary human would reach this soul of the divinity. Ragnar would sigh very heavily with, very heavily with, So Ragnar would exhale very deeply and try to hold his his sayings, and then in a very calm and collected tone. The calm and collected tone arrived, and treating and walking along the place as if he didn't want to destroy. Very very careful, right? Very carefully, while he doesn't want to get his shit destroyed. Meaning like he's treating the walk. So this entire place is he's jumping, arrived to this specific castle. While at this castle, he witnesses Aslaug with her dog and her lance. And while he landed, he walked. Before he got there, he exhaled, and he went. And then, methodically, calmly walked over to her without trying to break shit, including her, right? And says, "Princess, I've finally found you." With that voice, the girl reactively turned around. The silver hair moves with that motion. She says, "Who are you?" "I'm Ragnar." "Don't know the face. If you were to pull my leg, I'll kill you immediately." While being very cold, cold gaze given so, the girl have said. On time, 2羽の鳥が飛んでいる。ラグナルも少女も誰も彼も未来は見だそれには気づかない。And then on top of the skies, you would witness two birds flying above. Ragnar, even the girl, does not realize. Nobody realizes That's yeah, that unforeseen feature. And if you guys don't know, that itself is that's very nice. It's essentially you can interpret it as crows, two crows watching, and that means that Odin's watching in a way. You can interpret it as that, and so that's really cool. Holy shit, how many pages I got, bro? I just finished page 1. Oh my lord. I'm gonna die. But it's so good. Like it's so difficult to translate because I have to read it and then I have to retranslate it. Odin confirmed? Not really, but it's just a nice little hint or like a TTEXD, right? Because whenever you see two birds and if there were crows, the saying is if the two crows are above your head means that Odin's watching. It's just a superstition thing, but it's also a mythological thing too that kind of goes down the line. So it's pretty cool. Ugh. Interesting. It's kind of fascinating that says it specifically here that it's 2000 it's 2010x, meaning that it's 2000. So it is a 4 digits and it's within the 21st century, right? Within the 21st century, and it means that we don't know exactly where this takes. So it can be from 2010 to 2019, which is kind of really weird that they did that. They specifically mentioned that. Kind of cool. Is it 201? No, no, no. It's no, because it says 201x. That's 4 digits. And this is talking about the modern era, right? Like this whole place talked about the modern era. And if you don't know what this means is that it's a new chapter or a new it splits open, right? It's moving on. The history is 2010 to 2009. It's a very interesting mystery. It's a very peculiar mystery because they could have said they could have xed this side out because then since it's 2000 whenever the fucking date is, this is a interesting topic because FGO can get involved in this, and FGO can get involved in this. Fake Strange can get involved in this, and Elamaloy can get involved in this in a way. I thought it was 100 years in the future. It's not. Do you really think 100 years in the future you get a fucking iPod Nano, bruh? You clearly weren't listening. We got a fucking iPod Nano and a fucking Zippo. Smoking American fucking Lucky Strike. That shit ain't fucking 100 years in the future. New newest Bluetooth technology. 200, yeah, 2100. Oh yeah, this is pretty fucking awesome. アジンシ戦争が開始されていた。第二次大戦し、上州に移動された冬季モデル。モデルとして自身を後ろの移動エージェントは不完全であるものの、主に願望機として活動する。人類に刻まれた英雄たちが座位より集まる。Hold up. Is this Apocrypha timeline continue? 不完全であるものを願望されている人類を刻まれた英雄たちもより集まり、5つの特殊のルールを交わした春秋の味の二連大戦争が始まっていた。マスターに選ばれた若きMan, that's I'm scared. Only girl mage battle? PogChamp? 勝利を確定していた。なぜなら自分はこの能力において強力な霊視を持つ2つの火を率いている。すなわち最後のバークリーと伝説のバイキングオーダー。しかもこの2人は過去にあってどうしてもあったという。こんな幸運があるだろうか。いや、ない。あるわけがない。まさしく、バディの申請が常習にされているアジュン戦争において、この引きがあれば最速、勝利は確定。そう、彼女は考えていたのだ。少なくとも、戦闘士の方はラグナロクの初対面だろうと言ってる。一体なぜ彼女は、レミエルと踏むぼやついていた。Okay. So yeah, so this is an interesting topic there. So, this is Norway, right? Nordic. Top side. Europe. Norway. A unique, irregular Advent type Holy Grail War has occurred. Right? After World War II, right? During World War II, a Fuyuki Greater Grail model has been taken up. A irregular Advent Holy Grail was not perfect. However, it still worked as a all-granting grail. They would call upon the humanity-embedded heroic spirits, and they would call for their own objectives, and the servants will kill each other. 5 special rules added a very first Advent type or irregular type of double Holy Grail War, right? 2 times Holy Grail War has started. And the young mage, right? A girl that is also a mage, that is a master, was known to have its decisive victory already at hand. Because she has pulled the greatest sages and the most powerful beings of European Nordic side she could. That was the last Valkyrie and the legendary Viking King. Is there any more blessing than that? There isn't. No fucking way. This is the miraculous buddy combination perceived at its highest form. The fact that I was able to pull this Advent Holy Grail War, the fact that with this pull, my victory is assured and guaranteed, is what the girl thought of. However, at the very least, the Battle Maiden has stated that it was her very first time seeing Ragnar. Why is that? Why? The girl's name, the girl mage, Lemina Erutoforu, thought. So this concept was very interesting too, because I was wondering what the fuck is going on here, because fucking Aslaug specifically said, I don't know your face. If you pull my leg, I'll kill you. And so this kind of explained it right here, right? For some odd reason, Aslaug doesn't remember Ragnar's name. Ragnar is hubby. HQ ステージと止められたオスロのオペラハウス、その控室、本来その名の通り、ノルウェー国のオペラ王女を相手をし、規制バトル常時はないが、アジン戦争二大大将軍の後ろにあったため、例外のために利用している。常識は内容工事とか、ジョンシュの設定、検出はそういう種類によって取り出されている。北はオペラハウスに控え室があっただけ、すべてが本物。こんなに多くの鏡を一人でどうすればいいのかと思い、浮かばれてメイキャップアーティストしかいで乗ってみたのがほんの30分前のこと。現実はそう変わって私は青ざめている。これじゃ船の練習台無しだ。アジン二連聖杯戦争勝った。How do you fucking say that out loud? アジン州アジン州アジン州二連聖杯戦争勝った。 That's a very hard fucking saying out loud. She's got a teddy bear. Or Huggies. Man, the fact that this is a fucking Nordic, like topside European thing is insane. And then yeah, this is like talks about this. I can't translate all this. This is very hard because I have to. I'm probably gonna skip the explanation part of what's what. I'll just tell you the wiki version of it to kind of TLDR it. Whoa! 少女は怒っていた。足元にいる犬がくんたち。That's funny. Yeah, yeah, yeah. She doesn't remember. What the fuck? Oh.穴の弓を抱える。カルか。フラか。フラか。俺が悪かった。Ah, okay. All right. I'm almost done. Got it, got it. All right. I got this. I got this. Hey, Ray, thanks so much for the Submarino Cappuccino. Sorry, my alert system is completely turned off. But hey, thank you very much, my man. Big preach. Give me one more second. I'm almost done. I've just read everything, so I'm going to translate it. Remember, the difference between me able to translate fast and me giving you like some hobble cobble, tripping on my ballsack bullshit, is that if I can read it first, I can kind of give you a TLDR better version of it. So here we go. We're gonna start here, but let me get some chocolate. I'm gonna need some fucking chocolate because that's a big brain. Ugh. All right. Got some coffee. Got some water. Oh my lord! Thanks, Ray. Can we get some love for Ray? The subscriber Reno Cappuccino. All right. All right. Masters HQ stage, aka the home base, right? と認められたオスロのオペラハウスの控室。本来はマスターその名の通り、ノルウェーの公式のオペラでの条件であり、決して魔術師たちの装置ではない。So it says it's an opera house in Oslo, and she's in the reserve seat, right? AKA the reserve room. The place where, stars would be in the back room, the back fancy rooms and all that. As it said, the opera house is being used as a base of operation. However, do not mistaken that it is made by the mages whatsoever. It is perfectly normal and ordained. Perfectly normal and mundane. However, it's being occupied due to the fact that the Advent two-timed Holy Grail War is happening, and so it's using one of the rooms as a base of operation. It's being said that the interior work is being constructed, so it's not been interior work is being constructed and currently currently being weighed for earthquakes and any other safety measures, and it's been taken over and shut down. That sort of thing is being used as a facade. As expected of an opera house reserved room, or AKA place to rest out, everything is real. I've never thought that never thought that you would see so many mirrors. How does one person use them all? But then again, it does feel like you're a musician. Almost feels like an illusion that you're being a musician. And thought that you might become a makeup artist. Makeup an artist that would perform on the stage. She was on her high horses about 30 minutes ago. In reality, in current situation, she has completely cooled down of her excitement of such. She looks very restless. My goodness. 味覚の実を台無しだ。添えてない。これじゃ味覚の my beauty is being wasted if I don't take care of this. How sad. It says while she's thinking this way, she still had a mental cockiness still in position. Lena was honest, and at the same time, she was losing her cool and logic and confidence. Every second it went by. Calm down. Let's calm down and think, okay? Lemina would think to herself inside within herself and ask her this question, but she would always ponder. I've drawn the winning tickets. Yeah, I thought I've drawn these winning tickets. She would constantly tell herself. "ジュレーソンに無理やり得ている体を与えた大戦争を用意した礼拝とは 伝令に無理やり得ている体を与え、大戦争を得た、収益を比べられないものの、下級サーベントが当たるな。It says, yeah, being an illusionary spirits, forcing them to give an eternal body, a great, using the Great Grail as a catalyst, inviting them to the Holy Grail War. There's no way a low tier servant would be pulled in any circumstances. However, this time it's different. This is an Advent simultaneous, double summoning Holy Grail. And on top of that, the Nordic, aka the European divinity, right? European divinity's heroics. And I was able to, このノルウェーの進出したらオスロの舞台とした。And yeah, using Oslo as the stage in the European Norway, in its capital, we're going to pull off this, dual Holy Grail War. And at this time, I pulled two of them. Two land-related servants. God bless for a divine land. So she says it out loud. The duo Advent Holy Grail War. I've won. While saying it, he screams it out loud. However, while screaming that out loud, making sure that nobody hears it. Putting four corners of the walls with soundproof seal. And to the walls and the floor and the ground. In the hotel, she was screaming in the hotel Buristoru suite room. And holding her Moomin Tororu Nuigurumi. Bruh. She's holding a Moomin fucking... That's so cute. Yeah, so... Moomin Tororu. Which one is it? I don't know which one it is. Essentially, she was holding one of the Moomin plushies. I think it's the blue guy. Right? If you don't know what Mooming is, this is moving, right? These guys are moving. And, Mooming Tororu. Holding one of these guys, right? While holding one of these guys to her mouth and excited, right? She would hug that and smacking it and getting herself hyped up. A European divine tale. It is comparable with Greek, Roman, Roman divinity folk talk. Divine tales. Within the Europe, right? Within the Europe regions, it's one of the two biggest tales to be told. I think the other ones are Arthurian. Within European. In the Mage world, especially in the Clock Tower, in the Gesture, the Magic Association. And magic associations, all the mage knows that around 1000 BC, roughly around 1000 BC or so, or 1000 years beforehand, all the divinities have ended. Around the divinities have been all ended, and they all became a divine folklore. If I were to say it more directly, German, German, right? German, German, German North mythology. あらゆる集合の中で回転する悲劇と無残 Many tales that come from the strength of the origin, tragedy of spinning tales of sadness and trials and tribulations. Ice cold region that surrounds the entire north side of the district and the cooler environment. Up till everything gets burned down and bring upon the end. Bring upon the end to the very last gesture. A very big, amazing divine tales. Wow. They all been left. They've all left around the horizon. And Girumon. Yeah, it's Girumon, not German. Excuse me. Girumons were slowly but surely started moving to the northern district. And then they would continue to store. Yeah, they would continue to and preserve the story of these types. To get that Nordic tale of sort. 残して言うのが、いわゆる一斉の中で、監修書で語られている情報の説明だが、実際のところはになる。Oh, okay. So in basic, after the tale's all over, apparently it says, I'm pretty sure that says German. Geruma. The Germans would take over that country, brought upon Christianity. Da-da-da-da-da. ゲルマンの地の及びウシャキリスト教化にあって人類愛称の信仰の彼方へ消え、ロシアを埋めてゲルマンたちが保存し続けたロシアがその姿を残すというのが一応ある。Okay. So essentially, after all that shit's done, Geruman people came in and spread the word of Christianity. And with that said, everything all disappeared into the horizon. They continued this tradition, and the Nordic tale was nothing more than mythology and folklore. Was the facade created to fool the ordinary people, right? That was written in textbooks, in scientific literatures and whatnot, is the explanation. But in actual reality, it's completely different. Nordic こそがゲルマン、地産地の詩で見てある。魔法の世界で起きる設定では、かつて古代、オーデンする神によって世界。神の戦争し、明日からる伝承のヴァナヘム。So essentially, I kind of don't want to translate this because technically this is all kind of, this is kind of telling you the true folklore of a true, myth of what happened. This part kind of just said, TLDR, plebs know that at one point, shit happened. Tragedy. Everything got burnt. Everything was frozen. Everything got burned down. And then German came in, and I'm pretty sure they're German. Yeah, German came in and fucking spread a Christianity. The end. And then in reality, it's essentially in the mages associations and mage world, the Nordic and Nordic divine tales were the center of it all. Right back then, from Odin existed the 9 realms of Asgard and whatnot. The land of the giant, Jotunheim, the frozen region of Niflheim, Nevelum, the very the burning land of Muspelheim, the world of Sunder, aka Under Heruheim, and the others that would reach as a Midgard. 9 different districts have been about. All of them was held by in the world by the world tree of the Yugudorashira. Branched it out, and people's lives in the Midgard, right? Midgard and Asgard had a rainbow bridge.それからとして少子の大使いであったんだ。そしてレミネ・ロフト召喚されたアーチャーの少女がそのこその神秘と元空を受け継ぐ最後の Valkyrie, right? And so yeah, kind of talks about the TLDR. It existed, all right. The whole existence of the 9 realms, the Midgard, the Asgard, it existed. It is a gigantic world map. And Lemina Eruto Furomu, right? Lemina pulled a servant called an Archer class. That girl is the direct last descendants of the Valkyries that had the boast divinity and the tail, right? She's the last fucking divine being. She is the daughter of the greatest dragon slayer and the battle maiden. Battle maiden's eldest sister's daughter. And then kind of talks about Sigurd, right? Sigurd, not Siegfried. Please don't get that wrong. Talks about the Sigurd. Talks about the Volsung tribe. Talks about the Volsung saga. Then from there, from the Volsung saga goes to Ragnar saga, right? Ragnar Rosebook saga. あの少女は神秘から遠く離れた好奇星という存在が語られている白種の存在だ。So yeah, like her existence is confirmed from the Volsung saga to the Ragnar's little saga. That girl was from, divine. She was the offspring of divinity. というそのグーとシーンで存在が語られる秋の存在だ。時計塔における神と同じく、レミナの個人の考えでは、シュールとブリヘルダはかつに神話で存在あったことは予測できる。それなら彼女はあの銀色の少女は一体どのように時を超えたのか。大いなる疑問だが今はいい。いずれバトルステージの稼働時間は終わるんだから最初のインターバル。Oh yeah, the daughter of So, starting from Bone Saga, Ragnarok, So yeah, thinking the same way of the clock towers and using the clock towers, its history and its basic, Lemina came up with a personal conclusion that Sigurd and Brunhilde were definitely in existence that was there during the ages of the gods. Then that girl, for certain, that silvered lady, how in the world was she able to travel through time? How was she able to travel through time if that were to be the case? It's a lot of big questions, and that's one of the biggest questions, but whatever for now. After all, when the battle stage's working time is over, when the first interval arrives, I can ask her directly. Whether I get the answer back or the satisfying one is definitely up to her decision, but... what is that? Ukuyoku. 実世界に起きた歴史書ありそう名問題の本人が確認できれば完全な徳あやが出て終了となってしまうから。 あ、いや、まだ納得、魔術世界に歴史の基本で反論してきたであろう名門が本人に確定で完全な回答ができて終了となってしまうかもしれない。こと英雄召喚という大重儀式は罪作りなのだと俺なら考える。Oh, interesting. So yeah, it says, well, whatever I can ask to answer. If the answer she provides is directly yeah. No matter what it says, I can hear the story and the history from her directly, and then I know for certain if the magical world and its society has been long giving lectures of the history, we will know for perfectly sure that if we can 本人確認で完全な解き答えができて終了. So yeah, if one of the questions and one of the biggest questions in arguments can be answered through her, and if that is the case, everything will be set and over. Is quite dangerous. It says, I sincerely believed that the heroic summoning system is a gigantic ritual that is practically a crime, is Lemina thought. However, it's very convenient, is also what she thinks. So right here, she says, right, this is a very fucking convoluted shit. いや、風邪時は最初にインターバルね、苦しい。不自由あるかは知らないだけど、まあ、自ら紛れなく、魔術世界の歴史義手が順論してきてあろう文明が本人で確認完全な回答ができて終了となくなってしまうかもしれないのだから、こういうことは英雄という大乗浜にはレミは考えている。So it's saying that if I ask Onsla what the fuck happened around that time, we can see for sure that if the Mage Association or the Mage World has been telling lies or altering the history from the very get-go, right? A lot of the mysteries could definitely be solved if that were to be answered of the ages of the god. Ages of the gods, and I can practically, it's essentially she's like, wow, if this is possible, right? If this is possible, I can practically be like insane, not only in my status, but like in history of mages. となってしまうかもしれないんだから、and it says, yeah, and then we'll know all about it. So therefore, this hero summoning system is quite a ritual that's practically a crime itself. But it's very convenient of sort. So it's kind of convoluted there. It's really nice. Thor already exists, but at the same time, we're not gonna get Thor. We're gonna get his son. Let me know 考えている。便利じゃないかと考える。そんな生きた全体と証とも言える少女のアングスがあの男。It says, yeah, on top of that, while a living Ages of the Gods proof there, right? That little girl's existence there, that man also backs up this fact. A berserker that Lemina summoned, a warrior, Ragnar. In the legend of Viking King, as one of the Viking kings of Ragnar, I believe within the Ages of the Gods term, he is the warrior soul that was practically the final warrior soul that was in its era before the Age of the Gods ended. いわれば神秘を終えた最後のEinherjar. Wait, isn't Einherjar fucking Fate or Lost Einherjar? Lost warrior? Lost heroic warrior? Interesting. Sorry, I got caught up in it because that was very interesting. Because that's the title of the light novel, Lost Einherjar, aka Lost Warrior Soul. Yeah. So essentially, right here it says Ragnar was the last few warrior soul, right? A warrior soul that was worthy during the ages of God that ended. The last few, aka the last one. Even though technically it's not the last one, but as ages of the gods confirm, right? He's one of the few, if not the best, at that time. 後ろの寝台に最強カップラーとシグルとしおよび本体と同じくするジークフリートとクリームヒルトは確かに一人一人であれば英雄クラスの存在だろうが、どちらも己の印象は良くはない。その点、あの少女とラグナールといえば、佐賀に長違いの話もない。むしろ深い感情をしあっさるエピソードもあるから、これはもう、陣内勝選手、もはや勝った。他のバディでは全部私たちは大切にしまいでは、あと誰にも聞かないように、レストラン、シアター、カフェの前で小さくつぶやく。So yeah, in the Nordic region, right, the Nordic divine representative strongest couple that was Siegfried. Oh, I wonder. It could be Onslaught from Siegfried and Kriemhild instead of Siegfried and Brunhilde. It says Siegfried and Brunhilde, or the very similar one, Siegfried, right? Siegfried and Kriemhild. Both of them are definitely a great warrior, right? Great heroes, great hero class of their existence, aka grand, right? It's funny because they do say grand in a way. A great hero class, aka grand class of its existence. Technically not FGO grand, but at the same time they're warrior enough to be a grand. They're a grand hero class. But at the same time, if you were to get both of them, if you were to get to both of them in certain circumstances, the affinity would have been garbage. So yeah, they're saying that she's saying that if I were to get the perfect couples of Siegfried and Brunhilde, Siegfried and Kriemhild, while they are great servant classes of great caliber, if I were to get them together, it would have been problematic. We kind of know that because, you know, they won't stop fucking and killing each other. Anyway. But at the same time, this girl and Ragnar, also, during its saga, they weren't friendly or friends at one. They were not friend and friendly at one point. To be perfectly honest, I feel a great deep bond. There's a greater, deeper bond that I've read and I felt those episodes for sure. And so, if that's the case, the dual summoning Holy Grail War, practically I won. No matter what other party or buddy comes along, I'll just defeat them all, isn't it? She made sure she whispered that under herself in the restaurant of the theater cafe. She said it just a little bit, in excitement, of course. She was so excited that she she did not care for her favorite boots, right? The Jimmy Choo boots. Shredding it across. Did they get sponsored by this? I wonder. I fucking wonder. I wonder if they went to like each of the companies and said, "Hey, do you want to be in this light novel that's about to get fucking giga popular? Pay for the commission fee for these products in the fucking book." Don't tell me this is a Grail War summons couple as servants. Who knows? All we know is that Ragnar and Aslaug got summoned, but at the same time, Aslaug doesn't remember Ragnar. But all I know is that Jimmy Choo boot, right? Jimmy Choo. She's shredding it, right? She's so excited, she's just like doing this, right? Like she's like, ah! Fucking shredding shredding her little by little. She doesn't care because she was excited. Was Lemina. But I wonder, how did this happen? It says, I wonder how my servants are doing. It says, calm down, me, calm down. On my right hand, there is a command seal, 3 of them, and I would stare at it. It says, understand this, Lemina. What did you write? What did you write in the letter to Brother Kauris? Didn't you say to your uncles, too, the other uncles too, that you're going to show your very best and show off, show off your very best in performance? Yes, of course I wrote that. It says, once I've written those words, I will never bend them back. No way, no how. It says, this minor inconvenience, so what? 教師のトレファスの大敗製法の破れに似て解体された我ら Oh yeah, so this is like after this is after Apocrypha. Holy shit, this is kind of PogChamp. After the Great Grail War after the Great Grail War of Torifasu, with the loss, and with the loss came the dismemberment of our family of Yugudora Millennia. Yeah. 偉大なる漢を失って死に体も当然ながらこの10年それぞれ生き延びてきたんだ。この程度の環境10年前に比べて言うとどうでもこともない。It says, we've been overcome many difficult situations and scenarios, or whatever left in our family. While we're practically as treated as deads and being ignored as so, we all had been living this 10 years, right? This 10 years beforehand with our lives. This minor inconvenience of hardship compared to 10 years ago, it's nothing to be so. If I were to say something, if I were to call, whoa, these words, fucking weird. It says, compare. If I were to cry baby like this, if I were to cry baby like this now and curl up, I cannot. I don't have a face. I don't have a face to look at Brother Kaudis and Brother Godolph. With Lemina getting her emotion in her chest and set. Lemina Erutorforu Yugudomilenia would raise her head. Her eyes and souls both fired golden. A new era in the new world, who knows? The new era in the new world of unknown. Once that was diminished. The flames of the 1,000 year, aka 1,000 years of Yugudomilenia would still burn to this day. A fire that never forgets. From the very beginning, the highest elder Danik, the great thievery of the Greater Grail, started from the Greater War, the Holy Grail War. The legend that has been told, it has been said that it ended in the family's loss. But now, or using the 10 years, it's past. The little girl here would have the pride that she's still not realized. Still here to hold her place. Ooh, that's pretty fucking cool. So, Lemina Erutorfo Yugudomilenia is the whatever is left of the family of the is the Apocrypha. You know how remember Vlad? the summoner of Vlad who stole the Holy Great Grail. She's one of the remnant. She's one of the remnant of the fucking family. Yuguramiya family. That's kind of cool. あ、こらこら、お吉田さん。なんだよ、巻き戻しすぎわかったわかった。確かにこっちはすでに起きたが妙だな。更新しも姫君も合わせるさ。黙っていろ。いいが、仕事が重要なんだよ。So it says, hey, yeah, hey, Grandpa. Yeah, hey, Grandpa, what are you doing? You're rewinding it a little too far. Got it. Yeah, I got it. This incident has already happened before. We don't need to talk about it again. But anywho, it's important. Yeah, it's important this detail not to be left behind. The girl would be angry. This is the part where it's very important. This is the part of very important understanding not me, but the story itself. Okay, so yeah. It's pretty cool. Is she Fior? She's Lemina. If you're thinking that she's the wheelchair girl, it's not. She's just a family of the Yugudoreshia she's the remnant of the Yugudoreshia family. So, if I can go here. Let's see. I gotta write apocrypha characters. So this guy right here. She is the remnant of the Yugudoramiya family. So she's essentially the offspring of this family. Offspring of the Dharmic Yugudoramiya, which is in Apocrypha. It's her, like, I don't know about granddaughter, but just she's in this family. Yeah, she's in this family, and this kind of takes place after Apocrypha, kind of telling you the canonical that the Apocrypha did happen, and this event happens after Apocrypha, which is kind of cool. And it was about to go to her childhood, but it says, "Hey, old man, you're rewinding way too far back." That's pretty cool. I did not know that. That's crazy. Yeah, she's the offspring of. Oh, that makes more sense in the command sigil though. Because if you see her command sigil, it looks very similar. You see the similarity in it? Instead of closed off, it's more open. Hers is. That's cool. Anyway, let's move on. Sorry, I got hype. I gotta start. Yeah, I gotta finish reading. The girl was mad. The girl was mad. 少女は怒っていた。足元にいる犬がクーンと小さく鳴く。大きいのに可愛い声で鳴く犬だ。胸に抱いているが、今。The girl was angry. The young girl, which is Aslaug, was very angry. Besides her, close to her feet, you would hear a dog kind of go, whine in a small tone. Technically, it's a big dog, very cute dog that barks very delightfully. And the girl would always feel at ease and feel always at ease and feel delighted to be near. However, currently she's angry, so right now. Its feelings are not to be trifled with. By the way, this dog is technically not a dog. It's a genuine, bona fide actuality of a wolf. However, she, for some odd reason, constantly calls it dog. And from the sound of it, from here on out, instead of calling it a dog, we will now rewrite this from forward on to be wolf. I like the fact that I like the fact that the author or the writer here, it says, even though she calls it dog, it's technically a wolf. She doesn't realize it herself and call it a dog. I believe it's quite rude to call the wolf a dog. So from here on out, we're going to write it as a wolf. It says usually her mood will be back into a normal state. It says if it's something that's very minor irritation, it's easy because the big wolf would constantly be near her to ease the annoyance in a snap. 彼女はほんの少しだけ口元をして目を感じしながら喜びを目を浮かべて森を駆け抜けたり一緒に水遊びで遊んだり時を待つにすっかり怒りを冷めてある。しかしこの時ばかりは。Okay, so yeah, this by the way is this is going back in time, right? It says the girl was angry. A dog kind of whines a little bit, but yeah, just whines a little bit. It's a big dog, very cute, but yeah, usually she would throw those feelings aside and hug the dog to its extent, but currently it's very mad, so she's ignoring it. By the way, that dog is technically not a dog. It's a bona fide actual wolf. She constantly calls it a dog without even realizing. But I believe it will not be satisfied or it will be rude to the wolf, so from here on out it will be labeled as wolf. Usually, if it's if it's a minor inconvenience, her feelings will be back to normal. Anything that is sure of a less of annoyance, would only be cured. Would easily be cured by the big gigantic wolf being very playful and friendly. She would try to say something. However, she would stare and have a happy image and happy imagery on her face and run around the forest and forget about everything while playing with the wolf across the waters. As time passed, she would forget her anger and move upon the day. However, right now, this one, not this one. It was impossible. It was nay. That girl, the little girl, was constantly angry. She was so angry that she felt like she was going to burst, just like the 19th century, the eruption of Katora. The Katora eruption. She thought she was going to burst in explosion. Because, above all else, she was taunted for a fight. She was taunted by an unknown man. How dare he? The girl, who was very prideful, even though she was very prideful, she was taught very diligently and very diligently and very subtly. She would not know the faces of the mothers and father. However, all she would knew is that the father was the legendary dragon killer and had the power, a great hero that had the power of the dragon, and the dearest mother was apparently a daughter of the great god Odin. One of the few daughters of the great gods of Odin, and one of the elder sisters of the Battle Maiden, which is the Valkyries. And she would realize to herself that she is the existence of a dragon, human, and divine blood mixiated as so. Well, at least that's what my parent, Heimiru, old man would always say. I'm pretty sure it's the real deal. Kagami o gururi to ou kamikazari wa seigou mo naku haha yori ataerareta magin no dougu. Interesting. Okay, so it says the hair decoration that surrounds my silver hair. It's definitely a heirloom, a magical item that was bestowed upon by my mother. And apparently, I have many more of OIC. It seems like I'm not your average ordinary child. Products, special abilities within me. And the things that old man would tell the little girl, she would accept it wholeheartedly. She would believe and understand that she was a child offspring that was born in within the ages of the gods. The fact that you that she was hiding in the old man Miheru's little harp, right? 蛇の王子が構えた銀融の偉大な中の中に隠れながら大自然を終わりを超え西の始まりを超えて1900年前の時間を超えて時代元9世紀のノルウェーという現実で目覚めだという言葉になっていても信じていた。なるほど。どうやら私は長い。Wait, what? Yeah, never doubt. Yeah, she never doubted the old man's words. Apparently, that she knew that she was the offspring. She was the offspring during the ages of gods. She would also be hidden in the harp, right? Big player. Oh, it's a magical harp. Yeah, the old man's magin no shiyushu no naka ni kakureteiru. Yeah, the harp. And with that said, arrived the end of the ages of the gods. And with that, the quote unquote the ages go forward and crossed through time or took the time about 1,900 years of the 9th century Norway, and I would open up my eyes and realize my existence. Even if he said something so ridiculous, I did not deny and I did not doubt and I believed him. I see. It seems that I was a very long sleeper, and it seems that I traveled a very long time. どうやら自分は長い時を超えてきた。Yeah. It seemed that I passed a very long time. 正しくは大台の魔力で永遠に眠っていたんだよ。なら私はきっと世界で一番お寝坊さんなんだろうな。そうかもしれないな。あ、聞こえよ。So it says, in technicality, because of the magical coffin, aka harp, right? It's a confinement field, right? Because of the magical energy of the confinement field, you were in a very long sleep. That's it. Then if that means I must have been I must have been a very sleepy person that slept in the entire world. My dear child, perhaps you might be right. While conversating with the old man, that conversation of conversating with that old man feels like can remember it like it was yesterday. It's just thinking of the last time we met, counting about 7 days, the conversation we had. It says, yes, the very most kindful person that was, the very most kindful person that taught me a lot of things. And I liked Old Man Hemiru. In the motherland, right? In the land of my mother, he was my parent that did not. He was my parent to be. That person who can only be my grandpa in retrospect is no longer with me anymore. God's no longer with us. The giants are no longer with us. No world tree nor dragons, nor battle maidens or Valkyries do not exist. The fact in the history of the 9th century. The reality so. In the Nordic Scandinavian island, the Freljord land that's so. The girl had to live alone, by herself. Ah, 王子から金銀をもらったので仕方なくあんたを食ってやるよと偉そうに言ってきた宿主の牛のクラかという肩着だと実際にシャダラバキという余人の対しして請け負って森で出会った大きな狼一匹だけと友達して多くを望まなく特に何もokay. The girl had to live alone. She had to. That was the only way. So, the old man Heimiru gave gold and money, lump sum of money to this person, this family, and they would agree with a sharp tongue of Click, and says, they would hire her because of this. And while being all boastful, the inn owner family would fabricate the girl's name into Kuraka. By using that as a facade name, she would work under the inn. She would work under the inn day in and day out. She would come to understand this term. And in the forest, she would meet a gigantic wolf, and she befriended it, while not wanting anything. Desires going nowhere else. She would live an ordinary, boring, ordinary, boring, normal, very slow life. But then again, at one day of sort, for some odd reason, in the white lunch, or aka during the early lunch or so, a fight. I was taunted, and I was somebody wanted to fight me, right? Somebody wanted to catch these hands. The description was told and say, there was someone who wants to meet you, a man. To be honest, the one and only, the Viking King warrior. Niwa no karasu o tsurete. Oh, what is that? Is that Odin, bruh? Is that fucking old man Odin, bruh? Yeah, so there's somebody who wants to meet you, a male. To be honest, he's a warrior, a Viking, a person, a interesting man who would hold an instrument and have 2 crows with him.スカルド上州という名前を一度はヘミルおじいさんから教わっていたことを少女はどうして思います。喧嘩を打った時はこの吉田の顔したらブラ何という宗教ではなく彼を追わせるという条件の戦士である。So it says, apparently, a weird man who holds 2 crows, who has 2 crows, and with an instrument came along. I heard that he's Skarudo. He's a Skarudo monk, is what I've been heard by the old man Heimiru. Has been told. The little girl would think in a little anger. 喧嘩を売ってきたのはこの平凡な顔をしたブラ何かという恩人ではなく彼を痛ませるという権威の戦士である。So it says, the person who wanted to fight or given me this riddle or pissed me off was some weird looking warrior. The quote unquote Buddha whatever, right? Which is technically Ragnar, but. 明日ブラナニという論人ではなく彼を襲わせた有権の戦士である。So apparently a dude with a weird instrument, aka a weird guy that's claimed to be barred with 2 crows, or aka 2 birds, right? 2 birds, that was Skarudo, saying that, hey, Mita once taught me this. If somebody asked you to fight, you fucking beat the shit out of them. But in a way, you would, you would acknowledge them and make sure that they are, make sure that they are warriors. Da 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 da. 戦場の戦略でも彼は、目覚えらしい成果を上げている。敵と倒して他の総司を奪った。And so yeah, it's like if she wants to fight, right? If she wanted to fight, she needed to make sure that person was worth her while, right? And what this bard, or AKA a silly man, said back then during the invasion, he has made quite he made quite an effort. He has defeated a lot of enemies and stole a bunch of prizes. She would answer, but she had no interest whatsoever. Who killed who? Who stole what? So what? Who cares? Not my problem, she would thought to herself. The little girl thought to herself that she'd rather just have a warm place to sleep, or even have nap times. Go into the forest and have fun with messing around, running around with the wolves, catching fish, meat, and enjoy it, cooking delectables. That was a better priority for her to have than this silly quarrel. It says, up to this point, I was not caring. She was not caring in the world, letting the conversation slide and ignoring it, and was about to walk away. But the problem came from here. Ragnar, in order, it says, in order for you to meet Ragnar, he has decided for you. He has decided to give you a requirement in order to gaze him. A requirement? Yes, a requirement. And those requirements are, you cannot wear any clothes. 洋服を着てはいけないが、着なくてもいけない。You cannot wear any clothes, but you cannot come not wearing one. It says you cannot eat any food. 食べ物を食べてはいけない。I'd rather say the fucking terminology here. Where's the fucking propaganda? Where's the saying? Where's the clever shit? Legend of Girls, a poor prayer. She arrived in Lindsay when neither harp contained the value. They allowed to be burned when Ragnar mishap told about the girl. Ragnar sent for her, but in order to he commanded her to arrive with neither clothes nor undressed, neither fasting or eating, and neither alone or in a company. That's essentially what it's saying, right? A very difficult requirement, I got to admit, huh? I must say, the circumstances or result in order for you to see him, the requirements is a bit difficult and harsh. The sage, or, aka the monk, or, the traveler, he would make a very difficult face and said,「もし君がすべての条件を果たしたなら、それは偉大な偉業として人々に伝えられることなのだろう。僕の診断によって。So it says, if you were to fulfill this requirement, for certain, I believe it will be a great feat and amazing, and I believe I'll be able to spread this tale through my songs and stories. I see. Well, this Viking or whatever, let's kill him. Yeah. It says, all right, I'm killing him. No clothes? Got it. No naked? Got it. Once she heard the requirement, she got very angry. Her bloodlust or killing intent increased in ferocity. Rage welled within her to just kill him. It says she wanted to. She had a very slow and melancholy life, right? Slow and slow and blurry life. She did not desire many things, and she didn't ask for a lot. She had no special goals to desire. Yeah. So, however, the daily task, the daily things, the little by little that might have been minuscule, piled over and over and over. And because of that, it was so, yeah, it was to the brink that her frustration has peaked. And her frustration was peaked to the ascendance that she could not handle any longer, and it exploded. 声も言葉もその、喉ことも、切ることまでのこと、瞬間、彼女は高く高く飛び交っていた。Oh no, shit, I'm spoiling. Kappa. Alright, it's right here. そこに来て、見知らぬ男からの無理やり難問。And then all of a sudden, with her peak frustration, comes in a dude that I have never seen before, given from a dude a requirement to meet an impossible, if not very difficult, task. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck about with clothes or no clothes or naked or whatnot. Is it to be perfectly honest? If you said don't bring any clothes, I would have came in naked. But at the same time, naked is not allowed. What sort of what sort of high standing looking down asshole would give such requirements as this? I don't give a shit. I don't give a shit that if he's a Viking warrior or whatnot. Yeah, I sincerely don't know what that really means. Yeah, and sincerely don't know what that title really means. 何と言われればすんなり裸になると思われているのが、it says that the fact that if I were been told to be naked and arrive on the spot, the fact that he would think that would happen pisses me off. But I wonder. Yeah, but I do have to wonder, in this realm or in this age of the 9th century, if a Viking was if a Viking person were to be said, if the Viking person were to command as such, I wonder if the others would gladly obey it. Then if that's the case, should I obey it? No way. While the bard would make a very very subtle smile, very subtle grim, I guess. It's not a smile, it's kind of a grim. While the bard elegantly gave him a grim and left afterwards, the girl thought to herself. The girl would thought to herself by herself in the forest. On her leg side, the wolf is little by little, whining, trying to better her mood, but the anger still never quailed. Whatever, Viking, whatever. Little by little, inside of her, the little one's rage passionately burns and burns. Perhaps maybe it's because of the mother's blood run through her that she does not yet to know, or perhaps it's a mere coincidence. She said she's going to kill him. I'm going to kill him. I don't care. Do not disappoint me, this Viking person or whatever. And with that, the promised day came at the promised time. There was no way that the girl would decline the meetup of Ragnar. Yeah, decline to meet up with the Ragnar whatsoever. And with that, she cleared all the requirement that Ragnar has thrown in. The very impossible, difficult task. Against that, the girl's action was, if I were to word it, she would bring a fishnet-like sort of things, and wearing on her body, not from top to bottom, but side to side. She did not bring any meat, nor fish, nor bread, nor flour, but had an onion. Had an onion. Is it half-bitten onion? Yeah, biting on an onion. What was it? Sorry, I lost myself. Yeah, she brought an onion that was bitten while biting into the onion and brought along one wolf. And she arrived at the seashore. Arrived at the seashore within the sea's touch. With the sea's touches the sand. And with that, the Viking man stand there, witnessing the fully requirement of the impossible task. You would see it. In one's glance look, you would understand that the man was very strong, very tall, and very very big. Compared to the girl, the male was back was very tall and thick in muscles, and bone structures and muscle structures were very tense. It says, in order to battle, he was shaved. His head. His hair was shaven very cut small, yet 戦う邪魔にならないように短く切り込んだ鉄色の髪が steel colored hair was very warrior like. So essentially this, right? Like it's cut, yet it's tied, and it's made it so that nothing gets in his eyes during battle. And this is what's kind of saying. Was very warrior-like. At the same time, he had a makeup under his eyes, black colored. He was younger than imagined, she thought. He looked like a teenager. He looked like a teenage boy, but the girl did not matter. The girl did not care. The fact that she knows that what she sees right in front of him is the person, an opponent that taunted her, and she's going to kill him. Compared to that, compared to that, she's only wearing a fishnet around her, and she's practically naked. Practically covered in fishnet and practically naked. つまり、暗証心の声を君は感じている最中である。What? 一応の声をしようって、the fuck? I can't see. I'm fucking losing my mind. Fishnet. Okay. あっちこっち貼り付けなんてなんとかギリギリで腹を隠している状態で認めたくないが、高地上の上は裸であり、つまり恥行進の極まりを感じている最中である。行進の異能の前では、運州など意味は忘れないを考えていたものの、甘かった。恥ずかしい。これは結構恥ずかしい。意味は済ますと考えていたものの、甘かった。恥ずかしい。これ、たとえこれから殺す相手だろうと見られてしまうのは恥ずかしいから、クラカか。お前、まさか俺の無理やり内容を全部うるさい。I got it, yeah. It got confusing because it fucking... I hated this part because it went like that, and so I accidentally read the next part. So, it says that the fact that right now she was wearing nothing more than a fishnet. And she was practically naked, butt naked. And so her embarrassment, she barely had attachments that was covering her private regions and her skin. And she did not want to admit it, but the reality of the situation was not easy. She was practically butt naked, and her embarrassment was reaching its peak. During this enormous rage of fiery passion of killing her, she thought that the embarrassment would swell, but she was definitely an amateur in that case. She felt embarrassed. This was quite an embarrassing sight she made herself in. Even though she was going to, even though it was an opponent that she was going to kill from now on, it was quite embarrassing if even he were to see it. So this is Ragnar. It says Kurakaka. So you're Kuraka. The fact that you would, the fact that you would allow, to reach all the requirements that I've said impossibly. Shut up. He said something, but I quelled it down immediately. It says from my thought process, it was ringing. It was ringing far. It was a very stable and subtle voice that kind of gave minor relaxation, but I didn't care. It was not the time. He was going to die. Until his voice, his words, his vocal cords, his neck was shredded out. I was going to kill him. And with that said, all of a sudden, the girl would jump high and high and high. She was hiding her. She was hiding her magical spear as small as she could, and she would activate it and then allow herself to come. And then all of a sudden, she would try to spear the male's body, and weighing her entire weight on it to try to kill this man that was in front of her. And with that, with all her weight, she tries to sideswipe the fucking spear at the male's general direction. He stopped it without a hesitation. Not only he would stop it, but with his left hand, the lance has already been taken. Is grasping the lance already. This is not good. I can't get away. The empty right hand started to crawl near the girl, faster. But at the same time, it doesn't. When all those actions came sequence, all happening at the same time, the wolf would bark. Perhaps it detected some danger, or detected its assault. But the male would create an expression that is very confused and quite surprised. 男は夕顔、not surprised. 男は夕顔、笑顔、表情を浮かべている. Confused. Yeah, the man would bust out a confused expression on his face and a little guilty. No, it's not, because that is... I can't fucking read that. No, I think he's genuinely fucking happy that she did that. Like a fucking... like a smiley face. Can I not zoom in anymore? Great. 男は情の友相乗友情で好感度だ。彼はバンと叩き、指の力を半周を緩めて、力や石を抜かれている。手の力、石を広げている。Oh, okay. The male is, he's making a very, like, what's the word? Delighted face, right? Like a delighted face or an expression. Like, it's not a happy face, but he's like, he's enjoying the moment, right? Like, he's kind of like, whoa! 男の手首をパンと叩き and then the girl would smack the wrist, right? Smack the wrist of the males. The girl would smack the male's wrist down in order to loosen the grip on the fingers, just a half a breath. And by doing so, pull the spear away from him and him and herself as much as you can. そのまま男の胸体を消し飛んで and then by spinning and pushing the male, by using the male's chest as a jumping pad, she would jump and escape into the air. And as the words suggest, she is flying, or she is flying, essentially. She jumped, like, into liftoff. 後に力、牛を締め込まれている原動力、光量力の物理。What the hell, boy?
移動力、物理的方向は天地の能力を捨てる、持つ彼女の肉体を縛いていない。穏やかで空中飛行、まろやかで爽やかな空中飛行。羽毛のように軽やマンションのように空を見て男と相手の距離を広げてみせる。So, yeah, right here, I can't really explain this, but I can if I simplify it. So, while she's trying to fucking kill him with a lance, right? Thrust. Tried to kill with a thrust. Ragnar would grab it with no problem. Stop the impact. Didn't grab it by the, pointy side, grabbed it by the hilt, all the space, dodged it, easy peasy. So what she did was she smacked Ragnar's wrist in order for give it a half a breath of strength to being weakened. By doing so, she pulled it out from his hand, and then remember, the lance is not that fucking big at this moment because she did make it very smaller with her, magic, of course. And so what she did was she used his chest as a jumping pad. And afterwards, after the fucking thrust failed, after the thrust failed, she would kind of just kick him, right, in a way. Kick him and just kind of fly. Try to get some distance from him. But by doing so, she kind of went up in the air. And she went up in the air and she actually took flight. And it's kind of giving you the description said laws of physics, laws of physics, aka it ignored it. She had a divine power. Her body has decided to levitate her. She was flying in the air. She was flying in the air, light as a feather. She was up in the air and gives herself distance against the opponent. And then all of a sudden, she would change her lance formation to a archer. Archering formation, and started to pull on the magical arrow with the magical string. Then all of a sudden, Kuraka, a fake name, was shouted. Instinctively, she did not fire the arrow. Her hands stopped at motion. It says, wait, why did I stop? Why did I stop my hands? I should not have listened. I should not have listened. It is quite foolish to try to understand or hear a person I'm about to kill. I'm sorry. It was my fault. The male is shouting something. That's right. It is his fault. Of course it is his fault. But no matter what he says now, it's all too late. It says, well, I heard that there was a quote unquote princess kind of girl rumoring around. I heard it from Buraki, aka I like how it says Buraki, but in kanji it says evil friend or bad friend, right? Or evil friend. And so because of that, I wanted to test her. I wanted to test that specific person. Your beauty is already seen beforehand. I can definitely see your courageousness and your wits, the fact that you stand before me. Wait, it says, I know, I saw you and I already know that you were beautiful. 賢さといえ、勇気さは測るさにわからんと思った。But it was very difficult for me to measure your wits and your courageousness. And so because of that, I've given a impossible, aka difficult topic to throw. It was definitely my fault. I do apologize. The fact that I don't need to see you fight. I've already know that you're quite courageous. The fact that you came along. Dots. What the hell is this man saying? Perhaps is he complimenting me? If that is the case, I don't feel bad about it. I don't feel bad about it. こちらが裸になるだろう。当意は裸にもなれず服も着れないことを慌ててふためくだろうと考えて調子に乗っていたはずの男に言われる のは妙にも嬉しくないが、美しいという賢明とか勇気があるとか多くの言葉で褒められて言うのは何とも。取り立てて良い役ではないものの悪くはない。So, so yeah. I like the fact he's like, what the hell is this man saying? Perhaps is he complimenting me? If that is the case, yeah, I don't feel bad about it at all.簡単にこちらが裸になろう、あるいは裸にもなれず、服も着られないことに慌てふめてくだろうと考えて調子に乗っていたメアに言われるのはちょっと嬉しくないが。So it says, yeah, it kind of feels weird, right? Kind of feels weird from a guy that thought to himself that I would panic the fact that I can't wear clothes or not be naked, or I would be naked in front of him with no problem. An asshole, right? That the fact that he would use these words as beautiful, smart, and courageous, complimenting me with all these words is quite strange. I'm probably interpreting it in a good way, but I don't feel bad being complimented on. And then Ragnar's like, oh, and I didn't know you could fly too. And then this is, Aslaug says, yes. It says, damn, this is my first time seeing a woman take flight and stay in the air. A man would show his teeth and laugh out loud. It was a genuine smile, a genuine laughter of a child seeing something magnificent. A smile that was like, it was a smile that was almost like a young child. Perhaps maybe this male did not have an evil intention and throw this taunt at the girl. Perhaps, it almost makes it look like he was, it almost make it look like that was the case. The smile in the face he had, and the smile in the face he had and shone was very warm in temperature. And then, for a mere moment, the arrow, the quiver that was inserted in the arrow ready to fire, the magical energy has dwindled just a little bit, dulled up just a bit. Little by little, the almost exploding, the shattering, the peak frustrations of anger, the killing intent has been disrupted and slowly but surely fading away. And that said, in that moment, all of a sudden, with his entire body and soul, the man shouts. And with that, the girl's eardrum would vibrate with these words. I want you, Kuraka. My name is Ragnar Lodbrok, the future of Viking King. King Ragnar. I will take you as my wife. My name is not Kuraka. A counter-argument has been shouted by her. The male did not understand what the hell she was saying. No, the female did not understand what the male was saying. Viking King, wedded as wife. Confusion came along. How she would say things, what she would say, what things needed to be done to confirm. The girl would shout, what the hell? And she would shout this again. My name is not Kuraka. It's so fucking good, man. そしてグループにしてはなんだか次から次へとワクワクする勇気が出て止まってくれない好奇心と漏れと宿る繰り返した日の日々が多く変わるかもしれないという予感がごちゃごちゃに入れ混ざり胸の一番奥での炎のように渦に巻いている。It says a sudden movement, a sudden yell and sudden marriage proposal. The anger, the frustration, surprise, all these feelings mixed up. But for some odd reason, she was feeling excitement in the back of her mind, back of her heart. This feeling of surprise, this feeling of unknown, little by little, dwelled within her. This feeling of curiosity never stopped, slowly but surely, came along and zipped through her mind. that the fact that she was no longer able to think of repeating the same day of forced living and the inn cleaning, the fact that she thought those days are no longer there on an everyday life, these feelings, these emotions, these unknown things which started dwelling upon her. And in the back, the deep end of her heart, it was swelling, boiling, mixing like a pot. And the young girl does not realize. 強い輝きを放ち始めた自分の若い日差しに男が息をすさまむ。それは彼が少女を己の運命であると好奇心する光景だったのが、気づかないままに少女は叫ぶ。神明、判明、この伝説に語られる未来の王へと向けて。So, the young girl does not realize the strong, glistening desire in the pupil that was looking only at her and her true self. And the man was breathing hard. The man was breathing, holding his breath for the reply. Perhaps, maybe he has decided that the young girl would be his own fate. It was a glorious scene that would tie in both of them. The girl, unbeknownstly, not knowing, she would shout her true name, her true self, and she would shout it to the future king that will be told into the legend. My name is Aslaug. I am the offspring of the dragon slayer Sigurd and the battle maiden Valkyrie Brunhilde's daughter, Aslaug. And that, my friends, concludes the preview of the Lost Warrior of Aslaug. Hell yeah, that shit was lit. Alright. I've only read the fucking beginning chapter, right? That was like 4 pages. This needs to be animated. This shit needs to be animated already. My god, it's on the seaside, right? Like, imagine on the seaside shore. Fucking Anslaug's trying to fucking kill him. Kicks him off. She's floating. And he's like, I've never met a flying girl before, but you're my kind of girl. I'm gonna fucking marry you, and you're gonna have my child. And then she's like, I'm not that fake name. My name is Aslaug, child of Sigurd. And dude, it's so good. First of all, I do have to apologize. I have to apologize because no matter how good my translation is, the way it's written here, it's so good. I am not doing justice to this new fucking series of Fate that's coming because I'm trying to explain it in very simple terms, right? And I just don't have enough vocabulary in me, right, to give a proper detailed description of how colorful this is. Like, it's very detailed. And yes, the parts where I said, what the hell is wrong with this man? Yeah, it's kind of goes down to that. Like, what the hell is this guy thinking? Is he stupid? Is he retarded? Like, it's so good. I can't wait. And like I said, the artist who's going to be drawing it is the artist who made Brunhilde and Sigurd. And the person who's writing this is going to be Silver Fragments. Or Fragments of the Silver Sky or some shit like that, right? Of Prototype. And this only just explained their origin story, right? Essentially, their origin story. But this also talks about the problem of there is a dual Holy Grail War. I don't know what the fuck that means. There's two Holy Grail Wars happening simultaneously, right? We also know that our main protag master is the offspring, or if not a descendant, of Draconic Prestone Yugudolenia. This kind of talks about couple years after Fate Apocrypha, which is awesome. Because when did Fate Apocrypha start? Like, give me a time for Fate Apocrypha. Do we know the exact date of Apocrypha? Like the year Apocrypha? But anyway, Giga Chad fucking Ragnar, you are now my wife. Learn my name, you little shit. Pretty much. God, I'm excited. This shit, man, so good. Whoo, man. Like I said, I'm sorry. My translation is not gonna do justice. Like this needs to have its own animated series. Like, you can even put this whole novel sequence into like a 5-minute trailer, put $10 on it, put ufotable animation to it. 10 out of 10. I've fucking watched that shit all day. Like, it started out, right? Started out. Ragnar fucking listening to metal, Nordic metal music. And looking through European guidelines and town layouts of Onslug, right? Oslo, excuse me. Of Oslo. And the little child's looking at the fucking dude for 5 seconds, jaw wide open. Are you a Viking? He's like, so you know. So great. July 2nd to the December 30th of 2017 Fate Apocrypha. Is that canonical date? Is that the FGO Apocrypha date, or is that the air date? What a Giga Chad he is. It's great. He's technically busting out the 220 volt Walking in Starlight. What, I wonder if that's an actual band. Give me a second. Walking in Starlight. 222 volt. Oh my god, it is. What the fuck? What the fuck? That's awesome. All right, so this is what he's listening to. All right, let me pause the. Let me pause, dude. The fact that we can know what he's listening to is fucking insane. Here we go. Ready? Okay. Okay. Getting there. We're getting there. A little bit of sampling. Okay. It's a nice start. I do like the tempo.
Dude, Ragnar's listening to this. She walks into starlight. Dude, that is befitting a Ragnar.
It says Nordic metal. He's listening to the Nordic metal with his newest iPod Nano with a Bluetooth wireless earphone. And like imagine him, right? Like kind of bop into this music. Like he's moving his body very little. But he is.
Alright, this is pretty epic. Shit's awesome. Fate Metallic Order. It's really good. Like I like it. I'm jammed to this. I'll subscribe to them. Fuck yeah. She walks in the starlight. Yeah, genre is metal, so yeah, there it is. That's awesome. What the hell? That is awesome. Number 22 vote on Walking Starlight. Like it starts out with this. Oh my god. Okay, that's fucking awesome. By the way, the time it takes you to read up to here, or the time it took me to translate it, will be the exact time when I'm done with this fucking song. In a way, it's kind of wild. In a way, it's kind of wild. Yeah. That's fucking awesome. They really choose song befitting Ragnar's vibes? Yes, they did. Oh my god, it's pretty nice. She's walking into starlight, right? It's her future whatchamacallit? Future wife, as you can see. Damn, bro. That's awesome. So yeah, if you don't know, new Fate series coming in hot. If you don't know by now, boom, new Fate series. Lost. It said from what I'm hearing and what I've been seeing, it says that this is the Lost Warrior because it specifically says. Ragnar is the last Einherjar, right? Einherjar, the warrior soul, and Einherjar is right there. Lost Einherjar, the lost warrior soul. That's the Fate's title name. Q Hikari no Aslaug.
And yeah, her headpiece apparently is this is her second ascension, or her archer form. It's cool that apparently Brahilda's fucking lance can turn into an archer, which we knew that technically, but she is an archer because she uses the arrow. Because the servant class is archer. The offspring of Brahilda and Sigurd, last Valkyrie, aka Battle Maiden. For some odd reason, does not remember Ragnar. Damn, dude, so good. God. So good, so good. They really choose a song befitting it. Yes, sir. And then yeah, Ragnar. ラグナーの言葉の意思は現在時代にしまう2匹の鳥は何をしますか? Yeah, what does that mean? In the modern Nordic sky, there flies the two birds, the two crows. What does that mean? Yeah, new stage, new heroes, new fate. So good. All right. It's pretty fucking good. 10 out of 10. Would fuck again. They say that she's an archer. Yeah, she's an archer. Can't you see? She's an archer. Specifically, her class is archer. In the light novel, if you were listening to the translation, yeah, she is designated as archer. But you could clearly tell in the last few story right here, she transformed her lance into the archer, and while she was up in the air. So it was